Okay, welcome back to another episode of Roger and his team at Ironworks making Chevelles great again. Roger, what are we calling this one?
Oh, I think a fitting name for this, well, for this one that will go on this one is Swiss cheese.
And why is that?
Because there's a lot of holes in this thing.
Okay, let's
And it's
back
almost
up.
funny because the stuff we're going to purposely get rid of is like actually good. And the
Okay.
stuff that we need to keep is no bueno.
Let's back up and let's start from the beginning. Why do we have a chassis already sitting here and a car that's stripped down with pieces of the body missing? Because we haven't seen this one yet. This is an introduction to a project. Tell us about it.
So I sold this gentleman the chassis a while back. It's been 6 months or so. He was going to put it together. He was going to do those things. And you and me put on these videos for what we should call the Chevelle factory. He kept looking at it and going, I should just have them put all this stuff together.
And you started telling people that that's going to be part of the possibilities here because,
yes,
I mean, this is an undertaking to some people. And if you're already nailing it out, really easy, you can deliver them a rolling chassis on with the car.
Yeah, and then you can take it home and call it whatever you want and take all the glory, and that's fine. So we've got a system down to kind of put these things together. Getting all those parts and pieces together, I can deliver it to you with a new dash in it and a center console and seats in it and exhaust in it and a fuel tank in it, and everything is kind of set to go. And if you want to wire it yourself or paint it yourself or whatever you want to do, you can do those parts, and we're pretty effective at getting this stuff installed.
Or this might turn into the Sensuous Customs.
Which, since you was doing all of this, you might as well do that. And
okay.
So this is kind of...
Give me the breakdown on this thing, because it showed up this morning after I got here. You gotta explain.
So it showed up about a week ago. We took all the doors off, stripped it all down. Yeah, it was on a chassis. And we knew it was rough. Didn't quite know it was this rough. And so we cut all the stuff off to keep structure, but to allow us to blast the stuff that we're also trying to keep. So it allows us to clean up all this stuff, even though this is junk out here on the outer wheel tub. This is gone because we're mini tubbing it. And then it'll get new quarters, it'll get new roof. The windows are junk all the way around. I have never seen one that's this rusty on the rear trunk panel, but it is. And so we pretty much just ordered the whole catalog for this thing.
And
so,
where are we ordering the parts from?
We got a bunch of this stuff from AMD. Some of this, I'm guessing, was replaced before there ever was replacement panel.
So we kind of talked about that, earlier when the cab showed up. There's a couple different things here. So sometimes when these cars get taken apart, those guys didn't know what they were doing. But then there's also another situation like what we talked about on this car, which this car's been sitting for a long time, and you're kind of maybe thinking that the last time it had a paint and bodywork done to it was probably, 30 years ago?
At least when this was done, maybe it was painted after that.
Right.
But man, there's some hokey stuff and like...
But 30 years ago, there wasn't what we have available now.
Well, there was still sheet metal.
Yeah.
But there's this might have been the extent of their ability to make this piece. I guess you got to give the car long enough to rust, and then it's got to be long enough ago they didn't have patch panels, because if a guy did that last week, that's pretty terrible. Like you can see here where they ran it under and lapped it under the original sheet metal, and then they bondoed it up with all of that.
How thick is that?
That's my finger. Like it's a finger width. But what's funny is even with all that mud, it's still low. Still low.
Crazy.
So we're going to wind up pulling all of this stuff off slowly so we can keep the parts we want, hanging new quarters. We like to do that stuff on the chassis. So we kind of get the body where it's set on the chassis, get it there, and then we can kind of tweak things around to get it where everything fits the best it's going to fit. But you can see how hammered these windows are. I'm guessing this was an East Coast car at some point.
Yeah.
So this is pretty hammered. This is the reason that we like to buy cars in California, because most of the floors look like this, and they're solid. But this stuff around the windows is crazy.
Now, I want to point out, like we've talked about it in previous, is that you have donor cars for not to sell to other people for their own venture.
It's only for the car. We have 2 donor cars sitting outside that are super clean bodies.
For legacy series cars.
Yeah, so we can get those on there. This has some sentimental value, so that's why we're doing it, I guess.
Right.
And so we're plugging away on getting that stuff together. But this.
Yeah, if you don't have sentimental value, this is probably not what you want to start with.
Yeah, you can buy a better car than this.
Yeah.
And so when we find them, we go snatch them up, because ideally, for a guy who wants to beat them up on the Facebook marketplace, is you want a car that has rusty floors and great quarters and great everything else and doesn't have an engine or trans, so you can get it as cheap as possible.
And we were talking about it earlier. The craziest part is that this one actually has a pretty darn clean floor out of all of this.
Man, I know some guys back east that would kill for this floor.
I mean,
there's not one spot in the middle of the floor.
You might get hit up and paid extra to pull this floor out very nicely.
You could.
And then someone could drive out here and pick it up.
Yeah, because nobody close is going to want this floor. There's too many cars like this in California in the middle. It's just everywhere else. But then you have all the poor trim hole filling.
So these are identifiers as a Malibu, because the Malibu had the bullet, or the molding that goes along underneath here and all the way across on the front fender.
Thank you for the PBS moment of telling me all this. Yeah, I don't ever know any of this stuff.
What are you talking about? You don't know? I'm actually.
You know all the color codes for C10s and all the Malibu trim layouts, and
I know
what order. Do you know what the special order number was?
Well, even though I'm swinging around the camera, I'm actually an enthusiast, so I kind of and I have a Malibu.
No, you do.
So
I learn something every week from you. It's not the proper year. It's not. We just put the car together, make it run good. I don't really care what the title says.
This thing has a nice firewall, except for
whatever that is.
Well, the worst part is over here, though.
Yee. Maybe that's candle wax, because the kick panel inside is well rusted. So the car must have been parked on an angle, and the water ran down through this panel somewhere. It's actually not rusted up here, but it is on the cowl.
This is a perfect example of you having to do everything except for the part that you don't need.
Yes.
This is crazy.
It's crazy.
But you know what? This is going to be a good one to accomplish and be able to show. I mean, that's the only part right there really on the floor. But this is going to be a perfect example to show what you guys can do and why you're valuable for the Chevelle. I mean, any muscle car community with any of this stuff.
Yes. So we'll save this one step at a time.
One step at a time. It's just plug it in and work on it as you can. And obviously this is going to be one of those things to where you really can't set an ETA, because there's a lot of unknowns with
I got to get through this first step first.
Yeah.
We're starting to get to the point that we can attribute 90 days to get the body installed on the chassis, get everything prepped to go. Then it'll be 90 days at paint. And then we're hoping to get to the point where these cars are a consistent 9 to 12 months.
I mean, even with the roof skin and rear quarters being hung, there's a lot of prep work beyond that with this car.
Oh, just the balance of getting it tore down, getting everything torn apart, fixing all the bolts that are no longer have or the threads or the bungs that no longer have threads.
Yeah.
And getting all that stuff together, getting it on a cart, getting it blasted, getting it torn apart, getting all that stuff set together. We have all those antics of just taking a donor car and getting all the previous paint off of it.
Well, this beat up cab, with all respect, I mean, it's still a Chevelle, and we're going to bring it back to life, is going to end up on this remarkable chassis sometime soon here.
Sometime soon.
That's great. Okay, so what else do we know about this car? Obviously, you're just putting the cab on the chassis and presenting it back to the client with a rolling chassis type configuration.
I think he's doing a blown LS with an automatic. Probably going to try and talk him into a 8 HP to try that in here. A lot of everything else will carry over. It has the Roadstershop shock package on it. It's got all the basics in it. We just took all the parts and powder coated them gloss black. So
yeah, this is the first gloss black
so
chassis.
it fits whatever he wants to do. That's what he wants, so that underneath it was glossy and looked that way.
Yeah.
And so we got all that stuff together, and we've already got everything else in stock of core supports and radiators and fuel tanks and all that type of stuff in here. And I think I actually sold him a lot of that in the beginning,
Yeah.
way back when. And so we'll just get all that stuff installed. There's going to be some mods he wants on the car that I think he's thinking about shaving or knocking down the rain gutters and just doing some things like that to make it a little bit cleaner for his style. And so we'll incorporate some of those mods into the cars. We're doing that.
So what started off as a chassis purchase on the website got shipped to him, just so we can make sure that we're clear here. You're selling this chassis just like this, and it got shipped to him in raw form. It came back with a Chevelle body, and now you've been commissioned to put it together. We're starting this introduction video, and the Sensuous Customs is going to kick in, and we're going to see how many episodes we get on this car.
Yes, sensuous will be, this car will be very sensuous.
Yeah, you know, it's good though. You can take all the heavy lifting and just, I mean, you're the easy button.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you're the easy button.
We're trying to make some of this repeatable and just continue to do that. We're not trying to grow to a large scale manufacturer. We just want to build 5 cars a year. Maybe in 5 years, we're capable of doing some more than that. We still want to build the one-off custom cars that we're doing and enjoying that process. But we're, you know, this is kind of the process that of creating a way of bringing up some guys to train them to do other work and creating something that is a little bit more process orientated to do over and over.
Okay. So just so we can nail down this subject here, we're going to probably be talking and discussing this car as number 15, and let's be specific why it's number 15, because in the books, it's coming back in as number 15, but the kicker to that is that we have chassis that are number 14, 13, 12. We've got chassis.
So we're
on
expecting
order.
chassis number 8 any day from Roadstershop. We have body number 8, which is a titled 70 that will go on that chassis. So that one is set. And so in our books, we're getting to the point that we need to start numbering these cars to keep everything in order. I think we're actually going to get number tags that go on them because they're starting to look the same when they're in certain phases.
Right.
And so starting to kind of keep things straight. So for us to not be like, technically this would be like a 6.5 or something like that, but that gets confusing. So we've just decided to call this one number 15, which makes it sound super cool, but it's not as glorious as it sounds quite yet. But we have chassis 8 through 14. We have 6 chassis on order with Roadstershop. We're supposed to get one every 3 months. And as that process continues, it'll allow us to continue just to do one after another, after another, after another.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's great. I'm really stoked. And I just, because I didn't get to see the car when it first showed up, is that an actual 70?
I believe it is.
Okay.
I believe it is. You should be the one that knows where the...
Well, it doesn't have a bumper on it.
And it doesn't have a marker light.
And it doesn't have a marker light because you cut all that out, actually, so I can't tell. So that's why I asked the question. The only thing I can tell is that it was an AC car.
We could walk out back and look if you want.
You probably have a bunch of panels sitting back there.
I'm not even sure which panels are which at this point. We have
Okay.
2 cars that had ugly white paint.
I'm curious, and after this video goes live, I'm curious how many people reach out to you and like, can you save that floor for me? I need it.
Yeah, it's probably gonna, I bet the floor's out before you get there, and the way we take it out is not pretty, but it's efficient.
Yeah, but this one's gonna be saved. It's not going to the junker, and that's the best part about it because these things are harder and harder to find. And like you always say, it's easier to start with this than start with an aftermarket cab like they make.
Then you're just dealing with one that's put together by a guy who doesn't care as much. At least we can manipulate things and get panel flow correct and all that type of stuff together, and you're not just putting it together according to their spec.
And just to be clear too, because you've talked about this in other videos, just because you start off with a cab that is technically in good condition, still you have to put a lot of effort and labor into that to make it up to today's standards, which in return kind of equates to, I mean, maybe not this one, but equates to some of the other prime donor cars.
Yes.
Okay. Well, as always, if you guys need to reach out to Roger, have questions about this setup or any of the other cars, or even you have your own vision, you've got a Mercedes in the pipeline, you've got a Cuda in the pipeline.
Got a 66
You got a
Chevelle behind you.
66 Chevelle.
We got 35 Chevys. We got 57 ranch wagons. There's a 58 Impala in the fab shop you'll see in our shop update video.
Very diverse.
We do all kinds of different cars. We still do more custom cars than we do Chevelles, but the Chevelles are picking up speed, you might say.
Okay. And if they need to reach out to you, how do they find you?
Just follow the link on our website to email us, and we'll get right back to you. It just keeps us from answering the phone and having to deal with spam calls and everything else, and allows us to get a little bit of information on you before we talk on the phone, just to understand that the right person's talking to you when we get there.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your
much.
time today, and thank you for walking us through number 15. And
Crazy.
I can't wait.
Thank you. Have a good day.